Is that the one in Tucson that passed away? What's his name? I forget. I'm so bad.
6 o'clock.
Call the order of the Claremore Cultural Development Authority. Sarah, please call the roll.
Cotton. Here. Bellman.
Present.
Michael. Calendar. Long.
Present.
Eslick. Colby.
Present.
McSpadden.
Here.
Irwin.
Here. If you please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You join me in the invocation. Lord, we just thank you for this time that we have to come here and serve our city. We ask you that you just bless the city of Claremore, all of its staff, all the council members. Give us wisdom as we lead the city, and we thank you for just being a part of us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
We have anybody to talk to the public? We have a motion to accept the agenda as printed.
So moved.
Just me.
Duly noted. Motion is second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Colby.
Yes.
Cotton. Yes. Bellman.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Any items unforeseen?
No.
Current business, do we have a motion to accept the consent items as printed?
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Bellman.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Cotton. Yes. Long.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn is second. Call the roll.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Cotton. Yes. Bellman.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
Call to order the Claremore Public Works Authority. Note the roll. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda as printed?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion is second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Colby.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Cotton. Yes. Bellman.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Any items unforeseen?
No.
Under current business, do we have a motion to accept the consent items as printed?
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Bellman.
Yes.
Cotton. Yes. Long.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Item number 2, discussion and possible action to award the construction contract for the Baker Hughes exit feeder project to Exodus Energy at a total cost of $998,825.25. Mr. Ball.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor and Council. This project's been in the works for a couple of years. The Baker Hughes facility on the west side of 66 recently underwent an expansion. That facility is currently served off the city's primary grid. Baker Hughes on the east side of 66 has a dedicated substation for that facility. What this project will do is serve the west facility off of that east Baker Hughes substation. So that will not only help serve that addition, that will free up some additional capacity on our city grid.
Blue stuff. Come on, blue stuff.
There's a lot of things going on in that area, so that will help with that for sure. We opened bids on this project on October 10th. We had 2 sealed bids. The apparent low bidder was Exodus Energy out of Shawnee. Their bid came in at $998,825.25. We did check some of the references, and based off the qualifications that they provided in their bid packet, we feel like they're qualified to complete the work. With that, answer any questions.
Have we used them before ever?
We have not. They're out of Shawnee.
Because it was a big difference.
There was a big difference, and we were a little bit concerned about that. There was another bidder that we have worked with before in the past that due to their bonding capacity, they were not able to bid the job. They did share some of their numbers with us after the bids were open, and they actually would have been a little bit cheaper than this contractor, so we feel like it's a reasonable bid.
So have they done work for municipal cities before as far as?
They have, and some of this similar type of work. Basically, what they're doing is installing the conduit. A lot of it is directional board, and then there's also a bore across Highway 66 and across the BNSF Railroad. So the majority of the work's going to be boring, and they've done quite a bit of that.
Okay.
This is within budget?
Yes.
Actually, one of the few contracts that came in under what we had estimated it for.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Irwin?
Yes.
McSpadden?
Yes.
Cottom?
Yes.
Feldman?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Colby?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Do adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn in a second. Call the roll.
Feldman?
Yes.
McSpadden?
Yes.
Cottom?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Colby?
Yes.
Irwin?
Yes.
Call to order the Claremore City Council meeting. Note the roll. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda as printed?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Colby?
Yes.
Irwin?
Yes.
Cottom?
Yes.
Feldman?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
McSpadden?
Yes.
Any items unforeseen?
No.
Mayor's report? No report. Awards, presentations, and communications?
We have someone here for the Colonial.
We do?
The lady sitting in the second
Oh, good. Under awards and presentations, we have 2 proclamations tonight. I'm hoping Maggie's up here. Okay, we're doing yours first. Is there anybody else here?
Just me.
Yeah.
No, this is a different one, ma'am. We're
Yours
leaving.
is next. Come on up. See if I can get through this. Okay. Saying this to you, but I'm not going to read it.
Okay.
Whereas manufacturing is a cornerstone of the economy in Claremore, Oklahoma, and across the United States of America. And whereas manufacturing remains a cornerstone of the economy in Claremore, Oklahoma, and across the United States of America. And whereas October 2024 is recognized as National Manufacturing Month, a time to celebrate modern manufacturing and the vast career opportunities this dynamic sector offers. And whereas Claremore is home to numerous global manufacturing companies whose products influence key industries from energy to telecommunications, aerospace, healthcare, and beyond, from pumps to telephone poles to transmission cables and boat lifts, from wings of aircraft to cutting-edge nanofibers. The products made in Claremore have a worldwide impact. And whereas, according to the Manufacturing Institute and Deloitte, the U.S. will see nearly 4 million manufacturing job openings by 2030, with an average annual salary of $88,406, presenting significant economic and employment opportunities. And whereas, the Claremore Industrial and Economic Development Authority, in partnership with the City of Claremore, continues to prioritize the development of a strong industrial talent pipeline, collaborating with public school systems, career and technology education programs, and local industries to meet the evolving needs of the workforce. And whereas the City of Claremore extends its deep appreciation to the many manufacturing companies that have chosen to operate in our community, providing quality jobs for our residents and serving as vital contributors to our local and national economy. Now therefore, I, Debbie Long, along with the Claremore City Council, hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 as National Manufacturing Month in Claremore and encourage all citizens to to recognize the contributions of local manufacturers and the opportunities they create for the future of our city and nation. Pictures?
We'll capture them off the video.
Do we have someone here?
Yes.
For the John Thumb chapter? Yay, yay. Someone will take a picture for you. I'm Debbie.
I'm Joyce.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Whereas the John Thumb chapter of the National Society Colonial Dames 17th Century of Tulsa is locally sponsoring National Colonial Heritage Month in October. And whereas National Colonial Heritage Month brings to mind the first courageous settlers who arrived in America and who determined the direction for the formation of our country. And whereas the members of this society, by virtue of their lineal descent from those early arrivals, feel an obligation to work for the preservation of the priceless legacy that these early arrivals left to all American citizens. And whereas they continue to convey the true meaning of the inheritance by reminding us that it is our privilege to live in a free country, as stemmed from loving our country, obeying its laws, respecting its flag, and defending it against all enemies. Now, therefore, I, Debbie Long, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Claremore, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 as National Colonial Heritage Month.
Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
While we're on communications. Go ahead, you're good. I'm just going to have to hold this for No. So, as many of you may or may not know, last Monday, a week ago today, the big boy came through, and Union Pacific, Mary, you can put that between maybe you and Adam so people can see it. Came through, and Union Pacific representatives emailed me after and said this was by far the largest crowd they had ever seen. And it was probably 10,000 plus folks. It took them almost an hour to walk the train out from the Florence crossing all the way north of Blue Star, and people were lined up. So with that, we were declared by Union Pacific, as we needed them to tell us, a train town. But also at that event, we were presented by Senator Ali Seyfried this proclamation from the state of Oklahoma, whereas the city of Claremore has been recognized as an official train town USA, where Big Boy 4014 will make its stop on Monday, October 14th, 2024, and whereas the triumph return of Big Boy 4014 to the rails is the culmination of over 2 years of meticulous restoration efforts undertaken by the esteemed Union Pacific Steam Team. Number 4014 stands as the sole operating Big Boy locomotive in the world and is considered to be the world's largest successful steam locomotive. And whereas Big Boy 4014 began its 8-week Heartland of America tour on Wednesday, August 28th in Cheyenne, Wyoming, traveling across 9 additional states before reaching its final destination of Greeley, Colorado. And whereas this is the most appropriate time for the Senate of the state of Oklahoma to express congratulations to the city of Claremore on this momentous occasion, now therefore pursuant to the motion of Senator Ali Seyfried, the Senate of the great state of Oklahoma extends to the city of Claremore sincere congratulations and directs this citation to be presented so forth. So we have this official sign.
Where's that going?
I don't, probably in this room somewhere. We may have replicas made and put out on the tracks if we ever get a quiet zone, which we are still working on. So, want to thank Councilor Bowley was able to make it out here, her and David, her husband, and which was fantastic, but there were a lot of people. It was quite the show, and it's amazing how in a community like this where people really gritch and gripe about the trains a lot, how many of them came out and wanted to see this thing and were okay with blocking traffic for an hour so they could get photos with it. But it was impressive. It was really cool. They had a lot of the passenger cars and the dining car fully restored, and so it was a neat event. I think this thing was through 4 or 5 years ago, and it was a big deal then, but this was a much bigger deal. And that's all as far as communications and presentations, Mayor.
Thank you. Under staff reports, Mr. Manager?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to make up for the lack of agenda items with quite a few things for you all. I don't want you to get too comfortable. First and foremost, each of you have one of these at your desk or at your spot on the dais. This is the annual Stampede Social. This is coming up on, I believe it's Tuesday, the 12th of November, 5:30 to 7 at 320 on Main. The council is invited. This is an opportunity that the Rodeo Co-op invites current investors or sponsors in the annual rodeo, and also an attempt to draw in new sponsors. As you know, the city and county are large contributors to the Rodeo Co-op. Our rodeo is one of the premier rodeos in the Midwest, and so come join us 5:30 to 7, 320 on Main if you are so inclined on Tuesday the 12th. Also, would like to, we've got some special guests with us this evening. We have 3 individual scouts from Troop 88 here, and I'm terrible at my own writing, but I think Gabe Spade, did I get that? Did I write it down right? Gabe Space, I couldn't say, Gabe Space, if you'll stand, Theodore Schultz, and James Hicks. They're from Troop 88, and they are here working on both their citizenship and community badge as well as their communications badge. So thank you for being here, led by Scoutmaster Spades. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Looks like the other 2 have a lot to do to catch up here. He's just on board this thing. Anyway, appreciate you all being here. Thank you. Think Scouts is a great organization, and keep it up. Stay after it.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. State of the County Luncheon. We have a table November the 15th. It's a Friday at RSU at 11:30 a.m. If you would like to attend, please let Ms. Sharp know via email, probably by close of business a week from Friday. So we have plenty of time to get those names. So again, State of the County, 11:30 at RSU on Friday the 15th. Those of you that have seen the annual street rehab project, those guys are not wasting any time. If you drove Florence 2 weeks ago and drove it now, it's completely done and drastic. It's 1,000% better. Contractor's done a great job. Garrett's guys are monitoring, inspecting. They've finished up work almost right over here on what we call the Muskogee Curve. They're doing some stuff over here on 4th Street. Our crews have been out. You'll notice approaches along 66 on the north end are getting done, getting ready to. They may have already started mobilizing some over to Westwood. I'm not sure, Garrett, but that's probably next
It'll be a few weeks.
few weeks. They'll get over there. As you know, we started part of that project a couple of years ago and looking at wrapping this up. So very pleased with the progress they are making. Again, that on top of our Lowry Road detention pond, all of the dirt work is done. We've placed the pedestrian bridge. And we're starting to work on the acre plus of concrete that will go out there for trickle channels and sidewalk for that trail that goes around there. Very, very thankful. The bridge was through Premier Steel, which is who we bought the big bridge for Lowry from. It's a pedestrian bridge. They partnered with Green Frog to put some solar lighting on the bridge for us at no charge, I believe. So we were very pleased with that. So for some safety concerns, but that is a large detention project that once we get the concrete done, then we'll work on vegetation. We're probably 60 to 90 days out. This dry weather's helping. We can get a lot, as bad as we need rain, this weather is very conducive to our construction crews, so we're making a lot of headway. That being said, update on the water treatment plant. You know, we're a couple years into that. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Labor contracts, the cost of things, you'll remember we waited a year because it was a monetary issue. That year with inflation and interest cost us a bunch of money. And now with labor contracts and the price of materials and procurement still up, we're working diligently with the engineering team to try to revise the scope again. I'll just be frank with you, a couple of weeks ago, just not changing anything was $5 to $7 million higher than what we had budgeted. So those are things beyond our control. So Garrett, his team, and our engineering team are working at looking at how we can transition and what we can do without. It's not going to get better with everything that's happened in the east and the southeast. Labor contracts are harder to come by now, so something that may have cost $4 a foot to build a few years ago is now $12 a foot, or $300 a square foot to $450 a square foot. I mean, it's just a tough market right now, so we're working on how can we address those quality issues. We're still looking at green sand filtration, but Garrett and his team and our engineers are working to find out, what are some things we can do without, what are some things we can do internally that we don't need to include in the contract to revise that scope. If you'll remember, this is a unique contract in that it's a construction management. It's something that the state had never seen. We're working with DEQ. So we have the ability to go in and say, need this, don't need that, or there's a better way to do this, and kind of do some design or value engineering while we're going through the process. The big expensive equipment that we needed to start procuring 18 months ago, we've let bids on, and we've awarded that. We're just waiting on some of it. But some of this other stuff that we've yet to order is high end. But frankly, it's the labor contracts right now. And if you're any sort of construction or big projects, it's tough because there's no way for us to budget for account of that. And I'm always going to bring this conversation back around to every community around us continues to reinvest in itself, and until Oklahoma changes and transitions how it does business, there are no other options for us but to continue to look at diversifying our revenue through an additional sales tax, 1 penny. That's just the absolute crux of it. There's nothing else that we're allowed to do legally to fund anything. And so for the council to know, we've had this conversation regularly, or people listening at home, we're at a detrimental time. We only collect so much in sales tax, we only collect so much in utility, and unless our utility bills want to be way up here, which they're not, we're cheaper in water, we're cheaper in sewer, we're cheaper in refuse, we're cheaper in stormwater, and believe it or not, we're not even in the top 1/3 when it comes to electric rates. So unless we want to start adjusting those utility rates, we have got to get the citizens to understand it's time to invest more money through sales tax. Sales tax permits for everybody that comes into this community to add value to that, not just the 12 or 13,000 utility accounts we have. It's the 150,000 people that come here and shop. So as we look to the next budget and town hall meetings throughout the fall and next spring, this is going to be a continual message. We cannot continue down the path that we are without doing something. We're investing millions of dollars in transportation, water, stormwater, sanitary sewer. We're doing the best we can with what we've got, but that revenue stream stays here and those costs continue to do this. We can't cut any more here. There's nothing we can go without just stop providing core services. So while I'm very happy and proud of the progress we're making on capital projects, we're within a couple of years of duct tape and baling wire if we don't start doing something to diversify the city's revenue sources. It's going to be that continual and consistent message that we continue to relay to everybody. I say all that because, a $27 million project that was supposed to be 19 and now could be 34. We don't have that money lying around, especially the fact that we were fortunate enough to have savings and investments, but we've spent close to $12 million on tornado recovery, and we've gotten $1 million back to date. At best, if we don't spend another dime and we get 75% of what we spend back, that's $9 million. That's a $3 million shortfall of money that we spent that we don't know where that's going to come from, too. And it took us a long time to save that money. So we're fine on our month-to-month, our operations and revenue going in and expense going out. But these big ticket items that we need to fix and continue to improve, it's not going to happen magically. It's not going to happen by reducing the workforce from 45 police to 42 or 45 firefighters to 41. It's not going to happen by not doing the park benches. Those are hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. We've got to transition this community and find a way. What we do cost to repair and new is millions upon millions of dollars. So that's the message going forward. We're still making headway on these projects. We're not going to stop doing projects, but at some point, we're going to have to really cut back and do the bare minimum. And frankly, that's what we did for 90 years, and that's how we got in the position we are. We've made more headway in the last 5 to 10 years than we ever have, and now frankly, we're in our own way. We need the citizens' help, we need your help, we need the people in this room's help to understand the state says this is all you get, and it's up to us to go find it. So that's my annual sales pitch or quarterly sales pitch. The good news is, as of today, we are completely unhitched from General Electric for our AMI metering in that contract. So that savings of $5 million plus over the next 4 to 5 years and getting out of that boondoggle. Tim White's here operating our AV stuff. Tim led that charge. Tim has spent countless hours working with Trillion and Badger, our utility billing, our finance department, Tyler Technologies, who handles all of our software from a fiscal standpoint, and with GE's team. And so he's put in a lot of hours, we put in a lot of time, and so today we were able to officially put them on notice that we have severed. He has disconnected from the VPN network. We're not talking to them, they're not talking to us, and we were able to successfully get all of our billing data internally for both water and electric meters this last week. So kudos to Tim White and his team, and that allows us to do some things moving forward. We've got some timeline over 3 phases in, so you're going to start seeing our ability to do some things that GE told us we'd be able to do 10 years ago. So customer portals, prepay, pay as you go on your utility, being able to actually see and monitor your accounts and the usage. All those things that we were told we could do that we couldn't do, we're now going to be able to start implementing. But there's a lot of software that goes into that. There's a lot of training, and Tim's going to get us there, and he understands the expectations. We owe our citizens more than what we've been able to give them. And that's not entirely on us. The majority of that is on a third party, but we're now in a position to start working towards that. So that's going to come with a lot of policy changes as well. It's going to come to changes on that we'll present to you all and ask for permission and guidance on, here's how we're going to change our billing structure. Here are the things that we can no longer allow. Here's some things that we need to allow. It's just frankly gotten out of hand, and we've always done it this way is no longer acceptable. And we've only been able to take on kind of one big challenge at a time. This one's been 2 years in the making. And so my commitment to you all when I came in was to start trying to fix this, and we're well on our way to fixing it. So we're excited about rolling that out and what access to information our customers will have moving forward. Had we had in place what we hope to have in place in the next 9 to 18 months, when we had the event in May, we'd have been a lot better off in knowing exactly what we didn't have, what we did have, where we needed to focus efforts, and the system should have been able to do that. But it was never able to because it was overpromised and underdelivered by a vendor. So excited about that. FEMA update, you heard me, we got our first allocation back, I think about $1,006,000. Now, keep in mind, we've only spent 12, so they are starting to move along a little better. About the time things started to move again, we all know what happened to the country, so they're going to be spending hundreds of billions of dollars, and hopefully we don't get caught up. At the end of it, I'd like for them to take the approach, hey, look, we're only like 12 or 15 million. They'll spend that in 48 hours in Georgia, North Carolina, Florida over the next several months. So outside of that, those are all my updates. I don't want them to ever seem like doom and gloom, but my commitment to you all has always been to tell you the truth and not let you be surprised. And that's my commitment to the citizens. We're going to have to change how we do business. The state has to change how they let us do business, and that is becoming a bigger focal point. Oklahoma Municipal League, which I'm very engaged in, as you know, on the legislative committee, they have rolled it out. This is their big challenge over the next 3 to 5 years with the state of Oklahoma. We've got to change how we do business. It's no longer sustainable. So that doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing things here internally with our citizens to show, hey, we're getting surpassed by Catoosa, Verdigris, Owasso, everywhere else. We have the lowest sales tax rate of a city of our size. They're all 3 restricted, and we have some of the lowest utility rates in the region. that is not conducive to keeping up with the times of inflation on our projects. So, that's all, Madam Mayor.
Well, thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Manager. Anybody have any questions?
Y'all talk about this all day long?
Under current business, do we have a motion to accept the consent items as printed?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Feldman. Yes. Irwin.
Yes.
Cottam.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Foley.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn?
No? Oh, yes. Sorry. I thought there was one more.
I was like,
It's not on the consent item. Rest of here.
Irwin.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Cottam. Yes. Feldman. Long.
Yes.
Foley.
Yes.
Motion to censure mayor.